Hey folks, Pastor Tina here. Last week we talked a little bit about fear, especially fear involving the horses. Today I want to talk about how to overcome fear. Okay, that probably wasn't a good way to put it. Me saying we're going to talk about how to overcome fear sounds like I have all the answers, and I don't. But I do believe that even though we all experience fear in different areas in our lives, there are ways to address it. So I want to use as the example the other horse that we have, Jack. Jack belongs to Beth, my daughter Beth, and my husband Laird. They share Jack. Beth rode Jack in horse shows last year, but he hasn't been ridden hardly at all this winter. And what we have noticed with Jack is that he's gotten a little fat and he hasn't been getting any exercise. And those two things combined result in a little more attitude than what we need in our horses. Now, what that amounts to is when we ask him to do something, he's not real interested in doing what we ask him to do. Can you see how Beth is on the other side of him, waving that stick around, trying to get him to move forward? And sometimes he does, and then sometimes he stops, because he'd just as soon not do that right now. On the other hand, once you do get him going, he kind of takes off. I mean, he really wants to go. And once he starts going, you feel a little bit out of control, which is scary. Run, Beth, run. A lot of things in life can be pretty scary. So how do we address those things? Hebrews 13:6 says, "So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me?" Beautiful words to be sure, but it's still hard to say with confidence, "I will not be afraid," when you know that an 1,100-pound horse can run right over you. So let's look at another scripture from Isaiah. "For I, the Lord your God, hold your right hand. It is I who say to you, fear not. I am the one who helps you." Pay attention to that part. I am the one who helps you. Because my experience has been that God helps us in a lot of different ways. One of the first and best ways is to send people into our lives to give us that help. The lady in the video working with Beth is our friend Georgia. Georgia heard that Beth was having a little issue with Jack, and she came over to help us. Now, Georgia is a fantastic horsewoman. She has knowledge, she has experience, and she's a great teacher. Watch as we go through this little series of video clips and see the progress that Beth makes with Jack under Georgia's tutelage. Georgia showed Beth how to take Jack back to the basics. Go when I say go, stop when I say stop, change speeds when I ask for it. What they're doing is called groundwork, and the long rope that they're using is called a lunge line. Now, you noticed in the earlier videos that neither Beth nor Jack knew exactly what to do. They kind of got tangled up in each other. Jack didn't know when to go. Beth didn't know how to turn him. But watch the transformation that happens by the second day that they work together. When they ask Jack to walk, he walks. When they ask him to trot, he just easily goes into a nice, gentle little trot. When they ask him to lope, he lopes right off. Oh, he's pulling. You can see how Beth has a strong hold on him because he still is pulling. But he's getting the basic concept of what to do when she asks him to do it. So what's the faith lesson here? When something in life is scary, ask for help. That's the first step. Find someone who God has gifted with the skills that you want to learn and ask them for help. The second step is to go back to the basics. You don't have to conquer everything today. Even if it's something that in the past you felt very confident in doing, sometimes you just need to go back to the fundamentals, preferably with someone who can help you work it through and be a safe space for you to hide behind while you're getting your act together. Step 3, be willing to push yourself just a little bit more. Look at Beth. She's literally riding circles around Georgia. Now notice that they still have Jack on the lunge line. Georgia keeps telling Beth, I'm not doing this, you're riding him. But just having Georgia on the other end of the line is enough to get Beth that extra little bit of confidence that she needs. Now it's time to push herself a little bit further still. The lead line is dropped. Beth is riding independently. And before we knew it, Beth was trotting over poles down the length of the arena. I think Georgia came over probably 3 different days. And then there was a day when Georgia couldn't come. And look at what Beth was able to do. All on her own. She's lunging the horse. He's following her directions. He's listening. He's respectful. And she's the leader. She's able to ask him to walk, to trot, and even to lope. To be clear, Beth has definitely had riding lessons before. She's had great teachers. Karen and Dana have given her a solid foundation. But somehow in this moment, with this specific issue, the fear factor kicked in just enough that she needed someone who could address this issue. And I think that that's a relevant point for all of us. We all have a foundation of things that we know, people in our lives who've helped us to learn to do the things that we do. But every now and then, there comes a moment when something presents itself in just enough different of a way that it's scary. And when those times come, we need to turn to the Lord and receive what He's willing to give us. Ask for help. Go back to the basics. Be willing to push yourself just a little bit more every time you face the issue. And before you know it, God will lead you to the other side of that fear. So, what fear might be holding you back? Can you think of the person God has placed in your life that you can ask for help? What can you do to push yourself just a little bit more toward overcoming that fear? It is natural to feel fear, but you don't have to let it paralyze you. All things are possible through Christ and with the help of the people that He puts in our lives. We're thankful that God has given us Georgia and so many others. I hope that you're having a great week. We'll see you next time.